Let's pick up a carry Morphling. It's a different look for Alliance this time for sure.
Yes, they like to farm in this game. They're going to really rely on Limp because the first two games, he played Queen of Pain, and then he played SF. He was able to just kind of chill and sit and do whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
In this game, he has to be a little bit more active. Like, there's such a thing as forcing a game and letting a game plan develop. And this game, he's going to have to force it a little bit more.
And what about that Doom pickup?
I don't know. I don't really love that hero in this game. If he has a really good lane, maybe. I mean, we're going to talk about lanes a lot this week during the cast as long as patch doesn't change, because that's going to determine so much of whether or not you win. But I do think it's a very good PL game. I think it's a very good it's kind of an okay Ember game. I'd say Ember's really weak against Morph when he's matched up against him in the lane. Against DK, I think he's okay. Like, I think they'll just trade farm. Maybe DK wins by a bit. And then bottom lane, what is it? Veno, Tusk? I mean, that sounds pretty...
A flash of inspiration.
Sounds pretty annoying, actually.
Well, Veno is now up to the top lane. So wait, where do they want this matchup? Do they want the Veno against the Morphling
Doom.
or the Doom? They want it against the Doom.
They want Veno against Doom, I believe.
Okay, and so they are currently getting this setup that they want. Chen Tusk away from the Doom. You want the Chen away from the Doom for sure, right?
Honestly, I think you'd be okay with the PL as well, but I don't know if you want Veno against Morph, because I think you're a hero that has no burst potential at all. And your harass, like, Morph doesn't mind repeated harass, as long as it's slow kind of harass.
Yeah. Ergon on the other side of that mid lane matchup is also going to be needed to play pretty quickly here. They're going to go for an early hit onto Nico Baby here with the tag team. It may actually be enough. Yep.
Yes,
it sure
sir.
is. That's going to be your first blood. That's that fast damage they were looking for.
Yeah, level 1 Morph is so bad. Like, you barely morph anything. You're not getting any HP back. It's like, you'll heal, like, 50 HP.
Yeah.
You popped a Fairy
Penitent
Fire.
plus tag team. That is one hell of a combo.
That's dirty.
That's dirty for sure. Looks like they're just going to be full out trying to oppress this lane. It would help if they brought it back, though, now that they've kind of spoiled the surprise. Mid lane, what is that dive that's happening here?
This is one-sided as hell.
Yeah, Limp is destroying him in the CS.
He's got perfect right now on Limp.
No denies yet, but respectable CS for sure. And then that top lane matchup should go the way of the Venomancer eventually, though initially the Doom is winning it by killing a bunch of wards. Good job by Afterlife getting some denies in here or there.
I don't even know if this is necessarily worth it for him, but it's pretty funny to watch.
I don't know why you... I'm not sure if you're supposed to get wards level 1, but... I'm not sure if you're supposed to plan wards, let's say, when they're level 1.
You probably play more Veno than I do. Do you go 0-1 too?
I guess it depends on the matchup, but I think in this one I would. Doom doesn't feel like quite the hero that I can really dumpster with one level in Q. Maybe with the Stout Shield change, it changes the matchup.
Misha's just dead.
Yeah, Zibbe just needs one more hit, and I believe he's faster than Chen. No, he's not. Hanskin takes a lot of damage from Immersion on the way out.
S4 is winning top, and mid is crushing too.
Yeah.
So that is good news for them. Like, they're actually destroying the lanes right now. And Morphling is not so underfarmed. Like, the first blood doesn't impact him that badly. Like, he still picked up enough CS, and he didn't lose, like, a ton of gold. So his net worth disadvantage is not going to be ultra heavy or anything like that.
S4 doing a little pulling here. 2 levels of Devour. He's just going to stay away from the Venomancer from here on out. Now the lane starts getting hard. And Venomancer's going to have the last hit under tower, so that's not great for him. Hanskin pushing back against this aggression from Immersion and Misha. They'll grab the Purge creep there rather than the bigger Satyr for the big nuke. They want the slow of the Purge. That can take off the Winter's Curse, or rather the Arctic Burn. Hanskin is just going to die here now that the Arctic Burn's on cooldown. Couldn't fly away from the shards. Immersion could be chased down by Nico Baby, but he'd take too much from this Phantom Lancer, especially with that Purge creep.
And S4
keeps on slowing
died.
him down. And S4 did indeed die. He
Wow.
chased him down with the boots. Afterlife heavily committed.
Did he? I thought he had TP. He has no stun on Veno. I feel like
He
can't.
tried to TP and failed. He's going to have to walk back.
Oh, my lord.
He's going to have to buy boots
and
and
he's missing
walk
a ton
back.
of creeps.
He's going to buy a Windlace and boots because he needs to run back as quick as possible.
What just happened? I feel like
the
I really don't think you should be able to die in that lane.
There's no way.
Yeah, like maybe harass, sure, but should almost be able to get the TP off every time. Like that would have to be a pretty big error because he doesn't have Gale.
Yeah.
That means he just died to Sting and wards.
You just...
All right, S4 is gonna. He really wants this because it's almost a double wave, and he's gonna miss out on a decent-ish amount of those, but not the kind of start that they were looking for.
No. And again, the CS that he has, decent amount, is Venomancer wards. Same goes with the Venomancer denies. So if I had to guess, say Venomancer is up in net worth. And he is indeed by a good 200. And he's not going to let up on S4. S4 does have level 6 before him, though, thanks to the neutral creep kills he's gotten from Devour. Hanskin, he's in trouble. He's just going to sit there.
Where's he going to go?
But he has nowhere to fly to.
You can't fly that high.
4-0. Team Spirit, though, an even game in net worth. They're only slightly ahead right now.
This mid matchup is going extremely well.
Yeah, that mid matchup is definitely winning them a lot of.
That's 5-0, and they're going to leave the last hit for Urgon to help him out a little bit.
Very nice of them.
Yeah, I think he has extra regen too. I think he has a salve, or did I see 2 salves? No, just 1. And Nico baby is still getting pretty good farm, but this top lane. Getting that solo kill, he's going to tag team and get run at, and it is an early 5-0 lead.
Ooh,
this time around, they learned a little bit more.
Yeah?
They said, we need better lanes. This cannot stand. And they would be 100% right. They were getting crushed every time.
And he did better, but the Doom is going to be used here. Urgon is still level 5. Now, Misha, clutch the night time. Oh, he tried, but the
he was kind of close.
Over the top from Limp was well timed for sure.
Yeah, he was kind of close with that.
They are going to turn that into a push on the mid lane, too, with the Siege Wagon. So they need somebody here from Team Spirit if they want to protect this tower. Because I think even when the Ember comes back, Limp will probably just keep hitting it.
I think you don't want the Veno to rotate. In fact, I think you send one of the supports plus the Ember Spirit right now.
Yeah.
I would like to see the Tusk come in. In fact, he's not coming, and they're going to keep the Siege Wagon alive for the time being.
Yeah, they're just going to keep hitting it. Now they're going to stun him. Level 6 is up on Urgon, so he won't die here. And in fact, he still gets hit by that Breathe Fire, so now his Flame Guard's down too.
And I really would like to see one of the supports rotate for this.
They are not doing it, and instead they're dying bottom. Boy, this is, I mean, you watch Team Secret, you watch Nigma, you watch OG, they defend that mid tower.
Yeah, that went way too easily. That was not that...
And you know what really hurts about that is, you know, Limp, he would have kept sticking there and using his dragon forms to eventually take that tower. But now that he's done it in one go, his next dragon form is going to be used on one of the side lane towers.
Ooh. I really don't like... All right, so the reason why you don't want to send the Veno there is because as soon as the Veno TP's there, he's just going to have to run all the way back top because Ember does not want to be top. And that's why I think you don't want Afterlife to like make the move.
Yeah.
You agree with that? Like if you're Veno, you probably don't want to go mid and then have to run all the way top.
I do agree with that.
I think Centaur's a bit different because you can farm the neutral camps and you're okay.
Yeah.
But I think with Veno, you want to put pressure on this safe lane tower.
I think if things are really dire, though, I would still move.
Yes, I think so, too.
I
really
think if
thought...
it's the choice of nobody moving and losing the tower and Venomancer, then I'll definitely say Venomancer, but they definitely should have been able to come up with a better answer than that.
100% Cap. Not going to disagree with you there.
They're going to chase down Hanskin, maybe? They really want to. They want to push him all the way back here, so their creep wave is untouched by these nukes from the Winter Wyvern, and the Siege Wagon can do its work. They may still be able to do this fast enough that they can defend their safe lane tower.
Some tower better than no tower.
Yeah. Wise wisdom from Blitz Dota Zibe. We're going to watch him
Who just got better after hearing that? Who can relate? Woo! I just want to die today. 7-2. 1,000 gold up. Nice and easy.
They'll lose that net worth lead
Oh,
if they lose this tower.
Doom. He's got to be careful.
Yeah, this is the one hero that Ergon really needs to stay away from. The push is still happening in bottom lane, and the more they hit this tower, the more the alarm bell should be sounding for Ergon. That's why he's playing so safe. I think he's just trying to pull the creep wave back and not lose his life here. He needs to be able to jump away again. He's actually out of mana. S4, you can doom him if you want, and sure enough, he's going to go for it. Someone TP to this tier 2. This Ember should not die here. He doesn't have to die. S4, he'll chase him away, but he's too slow to get any more damage. This Ember Spirit will survive.
That feels real bad when you're not able to execute with Doom.
Yep.
You want that killing blow.
You could see S4 had the hesitation. He's like, I don't know if I can do this. And he should have trusted his first instinct. All right. I've been told that the Phantom Lancer's name, to correctly pronounce this from Vlad.
Okay.
I asked him because I had no idea. And he said, Do, Ra, K, Yo.
Dorakyo?
Dorakyo? I don't D-O? Is that supposed to be do or do? What do you think?
Dorakyo?
Do or do? Do. Shout out to Balad for that one, being homie. The bounce around Misha. He's going to die here. Ergon looking for the rebuttal kill, but he doesn't have chains up yet. Is he going to get the bounty at least? He'll get the bounty. He'll slip that away from Limp. Bottom lane, they're going to go for the kill here onto Doom, or try for it anyway. Dorakyo. They can help with the damage, but they don't have the stun to stop S4 this time. His TP does complete.
Pretty even game aside from the absence of the mid tower. I'd say is the only thing that went kind of poorly for them. Morph is not getting like extreme free farm or anything like that, and they have ways to deal with them, especially when they get Spirit Vessel. And it looks like he's in fact going for a Diffusal. He's gonna do the I'm Morphling, I'll turn into PL build, which is always interesting to see.
He's also against Ember Spirit though. Like, would you rather turn into the Phantom Lancer or the Ember Spirit? I thought it was Ember Spirit.
I thought it was Ember too, but it can go both ways, I would think.
Okay. Interesting idea. Immersion lurking on the side here. Planning an Ice Shards angle. S4 is really tanky though. And he knows Zibe and Limp are behind him, so they're going to be a bit cautious here. S4 takes away that Siege Wagon, so this push going to be a lot slower now. And he just picked up drums, so add in a little bit more stats to that. Speaking of Diffusal, it's almost done for this Phantom Lancer.
It's a really good timing. I prefer that he goes Diffusal in this game too.
Yeah.
It's like pretty fight ready.
He's going to take the tier 2 pretty quickly here.
Would you want to be a Doom in this game? I feel like it's kind of hard, your job.
No,
like you're
it's
against
very
two
hard
mobile
job.
heroes and you're against a Veno. But with this DD, yo, do they have any idea this is happening? All right, this is why, by the way, it really sucks to lose your mid tower.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea that this is happening, and they feel really comfortable to make this move because they don't think you can have any sort of response. And they would be 1,000% correct. I mean, it's unlucky because they also found a DD, and I don't think they would have gone
a
for
DD
it with
morphling.
that.
Yeah,
DD morph is insane because obviously DD is double your damage based on your stats.
Double on your base damage, and of course, Mr. Morphling, he changes his base stats. Urgot. Jump away once, jump away twice. Should be good. Smoke up, wrap around. They know that Hanskin's chilling here, but they're going to snowball him. Punch him up in the air. He's probably going to die here, but he gets off the Winter's Curse. No Cold Embrace opportunity. The stun from the Dragon Knight is still going to go for this Venomancer here. They even throw out the Doom, but they throw so much just to be able to stop the Venomancer from casting his ultimate, and maybe they'll get the kill. Okay, Nico Baby, can he actually clean this up? He's going to be able to finish off that Venomancer. S4 is being burned out of all of his mana due to the diffuse on the tag team. He dies that much quicker. Nico Baby has Spirit Vessel on him, but they should go for Limp because they have the Aegis still on Nico Baby. Or maybe they should just back up entirely. Nico Baby's been burned out of most of his mana, so he can't really pursue.
Still an extremely good fight for them. Extremely good fight for them.
For who?
For Spirit. They killed 3. They lost Veno.
Yeah, they got Winter's Curse out of the way. They got Doom out of the way. They killed 3 people.
More importantly, they demonstrated to me that they can win fights,
yeah.
Which I think is like more important. Like oftentimes in games like this, you can only judge like maybe we'll win a fight until you actually get into a fight, see what like an ideal fight looks like, what a bad fight looks like.
You start operating with confidence.
Yeah,
from
exactly.
there on out.
Because now you know for sure you can win this fight.
Yeah.
If Nico Baby doesn't have Aegis there, you all in commit for him and kill him instead of doing this like weird half and half where you go for Limp.
Right.
And the PL will continue to scale in this game. Ergon did not get hit by a Maledict, so he's perfectly fine. And this was with
a bit of a love tap here, and it's going to be followed by a love bump. The snowball, the Walrus Punch going up in the air as well. But look at that Phantom Lance. Going straight for the back line, but they found the real one right away. The Winter's Curse. A beauty of a Winter's Curse, too. It catches 4. That kills Afterlife. Ergon's going to go and kill Zippe. He commits forward, and now he's got to get out. 7-11, and Alliance just won a massive team fight, but they may still bleed out some heroes. Ergon not able to get that kill, but they can hold the brace. And Limp, he's had an Invis rune. Pops out, stuns him, and with that Shadow Blade will bring him down.
That was a confusing decision. PL just runs forward past 4 different heroes to try to get to a Witch Doctor.
Yeah.
That was the most value Witch Doctor death I've ever seen. It got 3 cores killed. And a Tusk. Oh, man. And you go from winning a fight pretty dominantly. PL just has to be patient. That Witch Doctor means nothing to this fight.
Mm-hmm.
What means something is if you lose all your illusions to Splinter Blast and Breathe Fire, and you're just running along the way with 300 HP trying to kill a Witch Doctor.
Silly. Props to Nico Baby for finding the real one so quickly and killing him with that adaptive strike.
It's still a really hard game for Alliance, I think. They have to outplay them. That's why I'm really glad that Limp decided to go for like the Shadow Blade. He's trying to set up on lanes for kills.
Yeah.
Which I think is a really good idea, and he's going to find another one here. It's better for Blinken this way, because you can pressure heroes. It's very unlikely that the PL will build a Linken's until like much later. He might want to consider it because there is a Doom and a Dragon Knight. There's a lot of single target.
I was about to say, kill some of those neutral creeps. Those are freebies.
But Ember and PL and Venomancer won't get it for a while. And now Ergon dies.
No.
Trying to cut a wave. S4 catches him out. And this is just death after death. A very good use of the Doom there.
One lost team fight, and it feels like Team Spirit are going back to the, like, oh god, we got to cut creep waves nonstop and split push them and never fight. But
yes,
they want to fight earlier.
They just set up the fight really improperly, and now they're getting impatient and hasty.
Yeah.
Look at the net worth. Like, their Ember's going to get this Spirit Vessel, and he's still going to be really effective. I would have actually preferred if the Venom won it, I think. Maybe they just don't think he'll live in these fights against the Doom. That could be one reason.
Instead, he goes for a lot of team fight items. He's got the pipe, and it's going to be a Force Staff soon to follow that up.
And Nico Baby's early game build into the BKB, they want to try to take as many fights as they can while they have such a strong timing. Limp is really strong. He's going to grab BKB himself soon. This second BKB item timing is going to be really sick for them. And the weird part about that was, like, S4 didn't even have Blink when he caught the Ember Spirit. He just killed him easy.
Now the game is going to be a lot harder for these split pushers.
Oh, a ton harder. Hanskin almost has Orchid now, too. Like, they're going to have multiple different ways to deal with this Ember Spirit.
Yeah.
Who still really needs one offensive item. Like, he's behind the Wyvern and farm. Urgon has not had the most fun series that I've ever seen. And now he has an Orchid. What are you going to do about it? What is your plan?
Just makes Winter's Curse that much more potent. Plenty of mana regen for him to do just this. Splinter Blast creep waves to prevent Team Spirit from taking more map control. Hell, that tier 2 tower took forever, and it's still alive. They still have yet to commit to it. Just because of all the stalling Hanskin's done. They're finally going to take it down.
It's definitely still winnable. Don't get me wrong. Can't stress enough how good of a PL game that I think it is. It's just...
They got the Doom on him.
He's dead again. And they're... Like, if you're Spirit right now, I think you go look for a fight. Doom was down.
Yep.
You are in a still a winnable position. You need to set up for the next Roshan, which I think is really big. Like, if you let them get another Aegis for free, this is going to be the opening that Alliance needs to win. Because they're so reluctant to go on Nico Baby. They don't have Spirit Vessel still.
Mm-hmm.
Like... He is, in fact, swerving away from it. I don't know if he has it on his courier or something. I don't think so. I think he's just straight up deciding that he wants to go for a Yules now. But now you don't have a natural way to kill any of these tanky cores. You have to take fight.
He pops out of his base. They're going to try and go for the kill here onto Doom almost immediately, and they should manage to take him out. That's an easy one. But the Morphling, who's now turned into a Phantom Lancer, he's a little bit harder, but they managed to hit him with the Centaur stun and follow up with the Ensnare. But a great Winter's Curse onto the Ember Spirit. They set up with a waveform. On top of that, they hit him with the Adaptive Strike. The real Phantom Lancer is stunned for quite some time. He does manage to Doppelganger, pops the Manta, tries to go for Hanskin, and fails. They did not have good enough execution in a team fight once again.
No, and their only job really is to not get Winter's Curse next to each other. The PL and the DK, or the Ember Spirit, sorry. Like, that is the one objective that you need to fulfill in these team fights, and you still don't have Spirit Vessel. And by the time you have it, you're so many items behind. At this point, Urgon is a 4-position Ember Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not entirely sure what the game plan was here. So this is perfect, right? They kill Doom. They commit for it. But then they run upwards together to chase this guy. And from here, you have to split. You give just the easiest Winter's Curse ever.
Just send illusions at Nico Baby, right?
Yes.
And, like, split up a little bit.
You want to split. And at that point, he has no frontliner. In fact, they just don't have a frontliner. Venno isn't in the center of things at all. And they don't have any other way to burn out HP. So that is going to be a really easy setup for them. I think they're making this a little bit too easy for Alliance when they take these fights. Like, they're enabling the supports on Alliance too much.
Yeah. They need, like, the very first fight, the big fight that they won in the bottom lane, it's because they got to the back line immediately. They surrounded that tower, and they ran down Zibe and Hanskin first thing.
Yeah, the scary part is that Doom is back up, and you were meant to win that last fight, I feel.
Yeah. You also committed to the Doom when he wasn't that much of a threat, right?
The good news is the fact that the last, like, 4 fights have gone in your favor, and PL is still ahead of Morph in net worth is a really promising sign. But Morphling now has a BKB, and they're going to find an Aegis, and they have all the map control in the world, plus they have Doom up. And they didn't need the Doom to win the previous engagement either. So as long as now Alliance fight this properly, they're going to be in a really good position. There's a BKB on their Dragon Knight. Like, this should be a winning Aegis, or this should be like a Rax Aegis, because they've taken out the top tier 2 tower. They can just go down mid and then grab top if they want. And so you are going to smoke up and take this fight, but you know that there is a Doom up. But Roche is so low that Alliance sort of have to commit to taking this fight. There's no backing out now. BKB popped. They found the real
got the stun on the Phantom Lancer. Force staff from the Venomancer will get him a little bit farther away. A snowball through into the back line. Looks like they had a Winter's Curse Urgon, and it led into the Doom. They chased the Phantom Lancer far enough away that they feel like they just turn around, kill Urgon pretty easily. The Venomancer did got off his ultimate. Nico Baby, he is quite low, but he's slowly healing up. Looks like he's going to go for Hanskin here on Durakio. Tries to go and turn back at Nico Baby. Does manage to get those two. Oh, the cast, it bounced over to the real PL, but they can't really commit to it. S4, he's already expended enough, and now he's going to be caught up in that Tusk immersion.
This is not bad at all for them.
Really well done by that Phantom Lancer. Urgon was a non-factor because of the Winter's Curse Doom, but Durakio carries it big time.
And they used the Morphling BKB. They committed it too early when he went in without the rest of his team. And so when the fight extended that long for like 15 seconds, gets his mana burned out, has no way to waveform out, and a little bit of an impatient move by them. And I really feel like at this point, S4 has no business dooming this Ember. I don't think he provides anything.
He doesn't do enough.
This is an Ember with 6,000 net worth. What is he doing to you in a fight? I really think that the more important target is this Venomancer, who's laying down these 50 wards, gales your Morphling, uses his ulti on him, and then just hits him down. This was without the Spirit Vessel that they killed Morph. And that just sheerly comes from the fact that like he was 1v5 up on that cliff.
Yeah, and Venomancer has an ability to be able to slow down this Morphling.
Yeah. I think this Ember is irrelevant now to whether or not like they win a team fight. He has 1 Spirit Vessel charge. You have a BKB. He has no physical damage. He's going to have to go Yule's next so he doesn't just get Invis DK stunned everywhere on the lanes. Like, just go for the Veno. Or if you can find the real PL. They did, in fact, find the real PL at first. Remember, they stunned the real PL. If there's like a Doom right there to follow or anything, they get a kill there too.
Yeah.
It did cost them a buyback, but super worth.
Seemed like the shot calling was very split. Now they've got the Spirit Vessel on top of the Poison Sting. Before, it was just the Poison Sting doing its work, that 30% regeneration reduction. I don't know if it's... I don't know if it's additively
or multiplicative.
Yeah, so it could be 90% HP regen reduction with Vessel and Poison Sting. I don't know how that works.
I don't think it works like that.
Okay.
I feel like I'd be picking Veno a lot more.
Yeah.
They're finally going to get the mid tower themselves, and that was a really gutsy call by Team Spirit. They had to smoke in for that because they don't have mid control.
Mm-hmm.
That was, in my opinion, sort of all-in-ish, because if Alliance gets that Aegis, it's really hard for them to hold high ground. We saw how difficult it is for them to bring down the Morphling. And Nico Baby has to be careful. Like, his team, that choke point is the most difficult choke point for them to go up and to fight into.
Yeah.
If they hold the low ground, which sounds crazy, but like if you actually hold the low ground there, you're in a better position.
It's a bad funnel for sure.
The problem is that both Veno and Tusk love that area.
Yeah.
They control that area so well.
Now it's going to be Team Spirit, where once upon a time we were talking about an Aegis that would be at least a lane of racks for Alliance.
Okay, Limp just pops out. He's going to lose a lot of his mana.
He's going to have to reset in the fountain.
Spirit's going to go deal with mid.
Yeah, quickly deal with that mid lane that Nico Baby's trying to push in.
Who's got buyback right now?
Oh, he sees a double damage. That's what he wants. He wants to make sure that Nico Baby doesn't show up with a DD like he did in one of those earlier fights. A stun.
Okay, they're losing racks right now.
Has the Maledict on him as well, but slowly but surely these wards and the Siege Wagon, they're going to do enough, and they're just going to reset for a moment. He still has the Aegis. They still can commit for this if they want to.
Nico Baby, he's out of mana.
Nico Baby. He doesn't have a waveform up for another 3 seconds. He can still have the mana. He popped his BKB to protect that mana pool, and he actually managed to get the stun.
Can they take out the first life?
Can they get the Doom on him, or maybe they're just going to not hold?
Dragon Form's going to be down. Yeah. BKB was used. All you have to do now is wait for your Phantom Lancer to heal, and then walk back in. He's full HP. And this is why BSJ thought this was going to be a free PL game. So far looking like it. S4 doesn't want to commit into these illusions either. These melee strength heroes that don't have the best mana pool to work with, but the turnaround, Nico Baby's going to go.
They should manage to take away that Aegis. The Chen Heal going off. The Winter's Curse goes out, but he top-clicking it away. The real Phantom Lancer is going to be pulled back in. They do manage to doom the Venomancer. Now they turn onto him. The Venomancer is going to die so quickly. Nico Baby as a PL does a lot of work here, and he's going to ignore the Phantom Lancer for now. The rest of the team is going to deal with him. He's going to go for immersion. He's going to chase down that Tusk pretty easily. Urgon still has that DD, but he had to jump forward the waveform. Meanwhile, Dyrachyo is still in the middle of all of these Alliance heroes. Hanskin's almost dead, and he still has that Aegis.
He's still alive!
He's still alive through all this, and finally the Aegis does go down. Splinter Blast helping with that. See if they can get the chain stun here. Lead off with the Dragon Knight. Followed up with a Paralyzing Cask and Adaptive Strike. It's going to be a lot of damage, but he still managed Doppelganger. They know the real one because of the Maledict, but he's chained up. Oh, he's actually going to turn for it. This Spirit Vessel. It was so much damage. He just ran at Nico Baby, managed to kill him before he goes down.
That was an ultra kill, and they got a set of Rex, or 1 Rex from that. Not bad at all. Overall gold, easily goes away, Spirit. And finally, Ember Spirit lives in a fight. I will say that the biggest difference in that fight that made that fight sort of okay for Alliance was that S4 finally finds his Venomancer, who's got Greaves, Pipe. If you let him get his Poison Nova off and drop like 15 wards, I think it's impossible for Alliance to take that fight. I think the only reason they saved that melee Rex is because he was gone on.
It was a great Winter's Curse by Hanskin to set it all up. Caught the Phantom Lancer, caught the Venomancer, set up the Doom.
Killed the Tusk.
He's going to need to do that a few more times. Meanwhile, Nico Baby, in his cosplay as a Phantom Lancer, he's doing some work, but he just can never be as effective as this PL, who's currently 6,000 net worth up on him.
The scariest part for Alliance right now is that whenever they do these like hit and run siege tactics, at some point you have to hard commit to just taking a fight, because the PL will just continuously hard regen, and they'll spam out wards on you. And because you're also against a Venomancer, you're not really getting out with all these like weird melee cores that have to like hard commit to get in anywhere.
All right, you want to hear it?
All right, let's hear it.
We got Vlad himself. Lovely man actually sent me a WhatsApp.
Sounds like
Duraccio.
Duraccio.
So it is do and not do.
Yeah, do, and the CH is a soft
Duraccio.
Duraccio.
What a boss. Shout out to Vlad.
Shout out to Vlad for that one.
Helping us out.
Nice enough to answer his Twitter DMs. Hey, we've got an even game on our hands, though. Even net worth. And Alliance, they're going to take this tier 3. Team Spirit don't want to fight inside their own base. It looks like they're just... Are they going to keep going, or are they going to come back? Looks like Chen, he's going to TP the Phantom Lancer back, perhaps. Eco Beam's already low, but the Doom actually goes out. If they can get this Ember Spirit back to the fountain, it would be a massive win. And it looks like S4, he's going to try and commit for that kill. He walks forward, but he's been Walrus Punch, delayed quite a bit. The Doom is still ticking on this Ember Spirit if you can find him, but he goes for the TP out instead.
He's going to leave his team behind, though.
He's going to be able to get Hanskin and Team Spirit. They know this is a free-for-all at this point. They're going to try and catch as many heroes because they have no S4. Limp, who popped his BKB, he actually doesn't seem to have TP. Oh, dear. Alliance.
That you cannot doom this Ember. If you do it in that position, they have a Force Staff for him. Like, it's the Venomancer with the Force Staff, and he's got 2 different ways to heal him on top of the Chen heal. I guarantee you from now on, if you decide to doom this Ember, you will not win this fight. The Venomancer is too farmed. He does too much in these engagements. He almost has the same net worth as a DK. This like 10,000 net worth at like 31-minute Ember Spirit is not the reason why you win or lose this fight. He's annoying, sure, with his hit and run, but I guarantee you, like, the reason why that bottom fight went even remotely okay was because you committed to killing that Veno and you saved your racks, your melee racks for it.
It also felt a little unnecessary to take that fight anyway. They'd forced the Team Spirit back to their base.
Oh, for sure. And now you're in a position where you're going to get yourself raxed. You don't have Doom as a threat. You're not going to use buybacks here. You're going to give up this melee racks, and I think Spirit will be emboldened and just go down mid because they know that Doom is still on cooldown for quite some time. So they are starting to make their way around. You can see that Morphling is just committed to being his own mini version of PL, but there's no substitute for the real thing.
Does manage to get a Centaur stun. He pops his BKB, but look at that Phantom Lancer. He goes straight for Hanskin, and Hanskin trying to protect himself with the Cold Embrace, delays his own death.
The Venom on the low ground.
Burned out of mana, and now Nico Baby. He fights back with his own BKB, but the Phantom Lancer is getting away. He's beginning to regen up with his heart. They have to keep the damage on him while he has the Maledict, but he can't quite commit. Nico Baby's going to bounce back with the waveform, and they do manage to deal with the Ember Spirit. Urgon, he's going to buy back now. But he doesn't have a Spirit out to be able to join his team. Chen's going to try and pull him in, and he's now here. They're going to keep on going. Nico Baby turned into a Phantom Lancer, but he can't get away from the real Phantom Lancer. He's going to be slowed down by the Venomous Gale as well. He turns, he fights, S4 helping to protect him,
so
but it
many
looks like
wards on the
Dota2
ground.
does manage to pop his cheese. He's losing so much health, though. He has this Maledict on him as well. They managed to get the Doom on the real Phantom Lancer. That's going to be enough damage. A Tusk with a snowball tries to use a cute little snowball play to be able to blink out, and it looks like he might just escape. Alliance do not pursue.
But they're going to smoke and go back in for it. This is kind of crazy. It's 4-on-4.
I think they're going to buy back and pull the Phantom Lancer.
Does he have buyback?
He does have buyback.
Okay, so they're going to
Does
go...
Chen have the pull back in? They're going to try and go for it. It looks like they caught the real Dragonite with the
They don't
Spirit
even
Vessel
need
on him.
him.
He's already dead. Maybe they don't even need the Phantom Lancer. Both the supports, they've been caught. S4 is going to buy back, but he won't be there in order to save Ziebe. Maybe he can save Hanskin and get this kill onto Immersion. They do have the slowdown. Double slow from Afterlife with the Gale.
He's still
Immersion
alive.
actually pops out that Essence Ring, forcing S4 to commit more and more and more. He snowballs to be able to finish up Hanskin too. All well committed to be able to get the support for support trade-off. Now Urgon, though, stuck in. Centaur stun, and that's a dieback for him.
No buyback for the Ember Spirit. He's dead for 95 seconds. Phantom Lancer did not commit it. I think that was the right decision. He did have buyback, but opted not to use it in that engagement. If he buys back and they go for that dive and they lose that fight, the game is over.
But what is the thought process there to like commit back in as your team spirit?
I don't know. It's kind of
you've
boss.
got Roshan.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool.
Okay.
I felt it.
Okay.
Sometimes you just got to do these things.
Mm.
Like when they decided to go in for that like 5-man clump into Roche
Yeah.
against an Earthshaker,
Like, you
why
just
not?
had to
You just
do it?
got to do it.
Okay.
You can see, though, Venomancer is doing way too much in these team fights. I don't want to stress too much on S4 because I think his job is really hard. And
Yes.
getting to that backline of the Venomancer when you're running into like 100 wards is really difficult. But it's an unreasonable thing that I'm asking of him to just consistently doom like the PL or the Venomancer. But it is what they need to win this game.
That is going to be Aegis Cheese and an Aghanim
Oh, the
Scepter.
Ags is sick. Okay, this would be really nice for the Dragon Knight. And maybe you even take, like, you take the Aegis for sure because you use buyback. Oh,
The roll in.
they committed.
They've already here. Duracio's already taken out that Aegis. And now, with the rest of his health, he's going to go for Limp. He's actually going to go for Zibe instead. He Phantom Lance rushes outside of it, trying to deal with these supports as quick as possible with the Bash. He'll quickly get it done. S4 and Limp no longer have their BKBs. The Cheese was passed over
Limp
to
doesn't
Limp.
have
He's
buyback.
going to be okay, but they managed to get the silence on Duraccio. So he resets a Winner's Curse. It caught him. Do they have any stuns, though? Limp has no stun. He's burned out of mana. S4 has Doom ready to go, but he can't get there because the Venomancer wards. In fact, he may not get anywhere at all. He's just stunned up by the snowball, tossed up in the air by the Walrus Punch. He's dead. 3 dead with no buyback. Limp and Nico Baby. They're going to have to hold 2 versus 5.
And keep in mind, this Dragon Knight had used his buyback earlier. He took the Cheese instead. Morphling, he has the Ags, but no Aegis on anybody anymore.
And no Dragon Form for 20 seconds, too, so he may not even get a chance to use that Aghanim Scepter.
Duraccio
Team Spirit kill him.
doesn't have buyback himself, so if they do knock him out once, maybe they can hold. This could be the one opening they have, but it doesn't feel good all-inning on this Phantom Lancer.
No.
And you obviously don't have that information of whether or not he has buyback.
Duraccio did just have all of his mana burned out. That is a really big win by Nico Baby. Did a good job with those illusions. Duraccio is still going to be able to commit to the ranged barracks.
This is going to be such a hard hold for them, but there is still a tier 2 tower up at top. So it's not impossible. And heroes are respawning. This is going to be a 4v5 now. They lost another melee racks potentially if the illusions get to it, yes.
All right, they're going to back up, go for the tier 2. So Alliance will have a chance to be able to take a full 5-on-5.
But they're down 2 sets of racks. I think that Team Spirit have to back up. Phantom Lancer has no mana.
Yeah.
They'll reset, at least for the time being. He might even just TP and the Chen pulls him back. But it's not like they have Aegis. And the buyback advantage, in fact, goes for Alliance. The Morphling has buyback.
Yeah.
Both of his supports have buyback. There's nothing on Ember Spirit quite yet.
So unless they get some sort of defensive fight on this high ground where they have a clear advantage, I feel like it'd be better for Team Spirit to just farm up. They are kind of close to an Aghanim Scepter on the Venomancer.
Look at how poor this Ember is. Just so many fights.
Spirit Vessel, that's what the man's got.
I think he used his buyback twice this game.
They do have tier 4 items also coming up in 3 minutes. Dyrachio is going to be going for a Scotty. And it's actually not that far away from it. By the time we have an Ag and Scepter on Afterlife, they might talk it over and say, let's just get the Scotty on PL as well. Then we're going to have a Phantom Lancer that is well over 4,000 HP. And at that point, he might be close to level 25 even. So it could be a while if Team Spirit really want to power up a little bit more.
I can still see a way in which Alliance wins this game.
Yeah.
I don't think it's easy by any means. I think every successive fight just makes Phantom Lancer stronger and stronger against the Morphling. But it really comes down to the initiation. Like, who finds who.
Yeah.
If you let the PL build up illusions and you can't get to the backline yourself, I think there's just too many things on the ground. As Kyle would say, there's a lot of stuff that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
There's all these centaurs.
Do you think S4 should go a Shadow Blade to deal with that stuff? Like, the Shadow Blade gets you in a position where your blink can be effective.
Because you don't really have a way to disengage anyways.
Okay.
So Shadow Blade and I think Blink Dagger have too much
Oh
overlap.
God, they found
there we go!
Phantom Lancer! Dyrachio, he's been caught! The Centaur stuns are going to try and come in, but a Centaur stun from S4 is going to be used first. A beautiful initiation. Lem's going to follow it up too with a Dragon Tail stun. He's just dead.
And he's
going to fight back. And Urgon's going to come on through. Immersion trying to go for Nico Baby right now, but he's forced to pop his BKB. This is going to be a disastrous team fight for Spirit. They need to limit the losses here, and Urgon, thanks to his Aghanim Scepter, will swiftly get out.
That's what you get at S4. Like, nice little applause. Really well done.
Round of applause for S4. The old legend
I said
finds the
it's
perfect
a hard
initiation.
job for him. He's got to find non-Ember cores, and he did.
And he pulled the trigger. He saw Phantom Lancer.
No hesitation.
He committed.
He's like, this is not an illusion, nothing. And that was the buyback used by Dyrachio.
And a bit of hubris there for him to position himself there in the first place.
Oh,
Right?
100%.
He didn't need to do that.
I think he anticipated at least he'd get force staffed or snowballed out.
Yeah.
But you saw Hanskin at the same time. Really big shout out to him. He was able to Winner's Curse the Tusk to make absolute sure that the Phantom Lancer was dead. Because I think if you pick him up, hold him in the snowball for as long as possible, pop him out, he gets force staffed. They have like 8 Venom wards down. Maybe you can save him. In fact, I think you do with the pipe and the Greaves. But left no wiggle room there. As the Phantom Lancer
Blade
comes
just
in,
to
he's
make
hitting
sure
the Ember.
that Hanskin can't get away, so he cold embraces himself immediately.
He needs to get out now. In
Nico
fact,
Baby,
if he dies here, the game is over.
Dyrachio, you need to chill right now.
Relax.
Found a Princess Knife. He gets his level 25. Some 25s were picked up, so we now have the Doppelganger that is seemingly always up. It's every 5 seconds is the cooldown. We have the 5.25 second stun of Dragon Tail. So Limp's initiation is now really massive as well.
Yes, and if you, again, I cannot stress this, you kill this PL once the game is over.
Punch
Initiation.
First. S4 toss them in the air, kind of stuck because of the ice shards, but they don't want to overcommit for this. They're going to send some illusions after him, see if they can burn away some mana.
10 seconds for S4 to have this Doom and potentially catch somebody and win the game. Phantom Lancer has to be so careful at this point. Any one bad engagement.
Spell Prism. That's pretty important for Urgon, especially since he has the Aghanim Scepter and he doesn't yet have the Remnant Charge Restore Time talent at 25. So he kind of needs the extra cooldown reduction where he can get it. Shadow Blade for Hanskin instead.
I like it. It's really hard for the supports now on Spirit to just like carry around detection and live.
Mm-hmm.
The cores don't really have the item slots as the game goes on, and they're going to go for they're going to go for a smoke though.
Yeah, Team Spirit did not smoke with their Phantom Lancer. He's going to show in the mid lane.
This is a pretty cool Ninja Gear pickup for S4. If he can find one of the cores, he knows which one the real one is right now if he's keeping track.
Yeah, he's going to use it now to smoke himself.
And a Shadow Blade and a smoke. If he finds the real PL, this game could just be done. So much rides on him.
Team Spirit just playing a loose radius around this Phantom Lancer, protecting him at all costs from being jumped. And there is going to be a Roshan. Roshan potential spawn time starts in just 12 seconds. So
if they can get an Aegis on Dyrachyo, finally get an Aegis on this hero.
yeah.
They could maybe do it. They took that one and they got racks for it, but then he died twice, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very close to Shiva's on Doom, but they also have buyback.
And now Smoke, they know that Roche could be up, so they're going to try to get going. I like that they're not just going up on the hill on the left side. They're going to make the way all the way around. And again, the game has always been the same. If you can catch a big hero, the Venomancer would also be a huge target here.
Is a massive pickup, and he already got the Doom onto him. There's going to be no force staff save.
And he has no
attempt
buyback.
at a snowball either. The Chen units are going to come in, but they can do nothing to stop it. They immediately just full on back out. But the wave charges, Nico Baby, he's going to be able to pursue quite heavily.
And they know where Phantom Lancer is.
They
know where Phantom Lancer is.
Limp, he's going to be able to fly in. He just flies over all these trees, and he's going to be able to catch him. But it looks like Dyrachyo is going to turn and fight as best he can. He's already taken Doom. S4 out completely out of mana, but now look at that. Nico Baby's going to turn into a Phantom Lancer, has some illusions of his own. The real one's going to be running away to Phantom Rush. He spotted one neutral creep, and that was enough to get him some distance. He pops another doppelganger, turning around for a second. He's going to find the real one. He's got the Dragon Tail. That's 5 seconds of stun. He's dead. No buyback from Team Spirit and Alliance. Did they just clutch this victory? Did they just manage to win this game 3? They've got the opportunity to just march down mid with no Phantom Lancer for 2 full minutes.
And Venomancer, if he had buyback, he would have used it. And Alliance has to know that. Hanskin, that's why he's going to buy back himself. Yeah. And a DD rune for Nico Baby. This is time to go.
And what do you do here if you're Team Spirit? Urgon, he's going to try and push out the top lane, hoping that Alliance won't march down mid, threatening Megas perhaps, but
I really can't believe Dyrachyo decided to use his buyback in that disastrous top engagement, especially after they lost the Tusk. Now he's put his teammates into such an awkward position. They can't get Mega Creep because there's still a Tier 1 and a Tier 2 bottom, but Alliance at the very least can even up the rack score.
They're going to go straight for it. They still have that double damage. Nico Baby starts laying into the Tier 4s. They still have the backdoor protection up. The Ult Scepter is going to be used to remove the last few seconds
of the
double damage now. The backdoor protection's now dead. S4 is down to half health. Waller's Punch.
He's dead.
He's dead. He does have buyback, though. Team Spirit need to be able to reset, but Limp, he's already committed with the Dragon Tail Sun onto Afterlife. Afterlife's trying to get away. He got off the Poison Nova. Immersion's going to die as well. Hanskin, he's going to be taken out here as Urgon finishes him off. The slight chains combination. Limp's a little bit low, but he pops BKB. Walrus Punch goes up in the air, but Limp is rather tanky in Immersion. He's going to have to dodge. Snowball on out. Urgon comes back. Then another Vessel. Limp's dead. Limp, he couldn't survive through it. He immediately buys back, but he won't have Dragon Form this time around. Immersion goes for another punch. This time on to S4. S4 is not going to be blocked in by the Ice Shards, and Nico Baby has given up hope of being able to end this game right away. Instead, he's going to go for Barracks here, but 20 seconds is left on the Phantom Lancer. Alliance.
And
they did manage to finish the Lotus Arch. Doom on Doom. Doom on Doom. S4 is going to have to retreat. This is Alliance. They're going to have to back up 10 seconds. This game will continue.
I think they're going to have to give up Roche. Oh, no. I think they really should have just gone for the racks and gone for Roche. They used all the buybacks themselves. The only person with it in the game that really matters anymore is this Morphling.
Urgon has had a rough game the entirety of this 45 minutes, but he showed up with the buybacks when needed. He holds the base with Immersion, kicking some ass on that Tusk, too.
I thought the only way they were going to be able to hold that position is if Veno had buyback. But he just died immediately, and that could have just been the game, but Alliance dove way too far. They got caught out, and they used all their buybacks to try to end the game.
The Lincoln's recipe goes down. And now Nico Baby.
Now it's going to be a mad scramble for who gets this next Roche.
Yeah.
You've just put yourself... Now Alliance has put themselves in a position where if they lose one fight, the game is over. Both teams are almost entirely even in this regard. The only person of any note with buyback is this Morphling. And so if S4 dies, doesn't get his Doom off, the game's done.
You just discounting my man Misha?
That's true. Misha can just suicide
Phantom Lancer is very close. He needs just a little bit of gold, and he will have it here with this Roshan fight.
They're loath to give this up. Urgon has a BKB now. They're playing around the area. S4 gets gone on.
S4, he's been abyssal bladed up. Walrus punch up in the air. Does he have a chance to be able to get anything off? He gets off the BKB. He turns, tries to go for a Centaur stun, and himself unable to do so. Dyrachyo needs to be able to jump away from Nico Baby, though.
This Black
Nico
Dragon
Baby
is
has
doing
a
a
Phantom
lot.
Lancer. He's jumped back. Look at that back line. S4, Urgon, and Immersion both looking at S4. They're trying to finish him up with Abyssal still on with Zibe. Invade is trying to heal him up.
Oh, he catches him with the
now
curse.
the Orchid. That's massive. He's going to come in with the Dragon Tail stun. There is a Poison Nova going out, but we're going to lose Urgon here unless the Snowball can get him out. No,
Limp's
he
getting
dies.
really
Immersion's
low.
now committed as well. Limp, he's going to be saved out by the Cold Embrace, but look at Dyrachyo go. He's burned down too. Nico Baby's going to die here. He's going to be forced to buy back. S4, he's going to be going down next. Dyrachyo looks for his next victim. It's going to be Limp. Limp trying to fly over these trees. He gets away to safety. 3 still up on the side of Alliance against the 3 of Team Spirit. Dyrachyo, he's going to TP out, barely gets away, but now it's just a free hunt to get whatever kills they can. Limp doesn't go for the kill on Afterlife.
He
they
just
cool
wanted
things
mana.
down. They're going to reset.
He's going to come back into this, but Zibe has no mana himself. And Nico Baby using his buyback, sorry. Dyrachyo has one himself. It's finally back up 5 minutes later.
Yep. Dyrachyo,
And
knowing
now,
that.
See, I can't believe the Spirit's actually in the winning position if they get this Roche.
They can't give him the Aegis and Cheese and refresh your shard and Aghanim Scepter. That's so much. They have to somehow fight this. They're going to pop the Phantom Lancer illusions here. They push forward. Once again, Dyrachyo does the same thing as he did last time.
They found
Pop
Zibe
out of the pit, and they do manage to see Zibe. Thanks to that Sentry Ward that was laid out earlier, they managed to get
He
that
buys
kill.
back.
Nico Baby tries to go for Afterlife. Heat Wave forms forward, but now he's going to have to Doppelganger out as a Phantom Lancer, and Dyrachyo immediately turns for that Roshan.
It's
He knows
still
he's
a
got
3 on
limited
3.
amount of time.
Hanskin's coming back into this too.
Limp, he's got the Dragon form. He can get in there right now. Spotted, though, by the Plague Ward. He's going to have to pop it. Dyrachyo pops out of the pit once again. He's going to go straight for Limp. Limp does have his BKB, and he's going to be able to get the Dragon Tail out on Afterlife.
Venom's
They're
getting
going to go
really low.
Venomancer right away. If Venomancer, he's just going to die almost immediately. Looks like, yes, he will end up dying. But Dyrachyo, he went for the back line as well. Zibe's going to be gone on. Looks like so many illusions are going to go out. The Abyssal Blade to make sure that Mickey has no idea to be able to get anything off. Zibe will die. Limp, now he's going to be burned out. He's trying to fly away. Cold Embrace, that's going to be able to buy him some time. Dyrachyo, the real one, is taking a bit of damage.
They've got detection.
But he's managed to fight
Prince's
the
knife.
Hunskin. Thanks to the Prince's Knife, they're going to be able to chain him up for a second. The Winter's Curse goes out, but it's on illusion. That quickly dies, and Dyrachyo is still going to be able to run him down over the cliff. A double kill for him. Back into the Roshan pit they go. It's time to get that Aegis.
Oh. And after all that, the gold lead is almost dead even. But of course, with this Roche, with this cheese, with the refresher, and the Aghanim Scepter, Team Spirit are going to get so much.
Yeah, this fight, it's now anything but an Aghanim's Blessing for the Phantom Lancer now. So no longer having that Phantom Rush cooldown,
There
he
are
can just
2 buybacks
freely
left in this
run at
game.
supports.
One of them is Chen.
Chen and Phantom Lancer.
Just old stalwart Misha. Spirit going to go for this final set of racks to potentially finally end this game.
Oh, what is Immersion doing?
Oh,
He's so far forward.
wait,
What
why
is
did he
going
go
on
for it?
here? I don't
Why is
know,
he at
but
the throne?
Dyrachyo, he's got the Phantom Blade. He does manage to get the Abyssal Blade onto S4, but S4 gets off the BKB in time, and a Centaur stun onto real Dyrachyo. They want to ignore him, though. Knowing he has the second life, they want to be able to kill some of these supports like they did with Immersion,
Afterlife has
but they
to
have
stay
to play
alive.
inside the fountain. Limp, he needs to be able to get it back, and he's chained up. He's so close to the saving. He's so close to that saving grace, but he can't quite reach it. He dies on the footsteps of the fountain, and Dyrachyo, he continues to push for that throne. Nico, baby, he's forced into defense now. He has to be able to
he's
hold
dead.
this, but now he's just dead. He has no buyback. S4 is committing for it. He gets out the stun. The Winter's Curse goes on onto Urgon, but is that even going to stun him?
They force him into the base.
Into the fountain. He's pushed Urgon in there as well. Now Dyrachyo's
There's too many
inside
wards on the
fountain.
ground.
There's so many, but there's so much on the fountain that it just dies. A 10,000 net worth lead is what Team Spirit secure in victory in this.